Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good day, wherever you are on the face of the earth. We welcome you this evening to our wonderful master.
Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, including our presenter, Ahoy. Thank you. Daniel Etta, Ayodele Maji, Oluwafemi Okudua, Udochi Anokwu, Apollonia Odia. Thank you. Adetitu Ogunbiyi, Efio Mosata Asimota. Wow. I can see all the thumbs up. Ayodele, good evening. So if you're not in a safe place and you want to have your camera off, please feel free to do so. On the other hand, if you're able to put your camera on, I don't want my face to be the only face that you will be seeing. And I don't want Ahoy's face to be the only face that we're going to be seeing. Please join us and bring yourselves on to so that we can see you. And for the benefit of everyone, this session is being recorded. Okay, so here we go. What we'd like to do, we've got a wonderful 1.5 hours together this evening. If you have access to the chat box, can you give me another thumbs up, please? The chat box should be on your Zoom app. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Hi, Ayodele. Hello, Efimio Sita. Can you do us one small favor? Using the chat box, can you drop us an indication of where you are joining from all over the world? Lolade, you are welcome. Inkiru, you too are welcome. Wow, we've got people joining from Lagos, and we've got Barcelona in Spain. We got Lagos again, Port Harcourt. You are most welcome. And where else are we joining from? Okay, now that we know where we are, Ahoy, where are you joining from, please?
From Lagos, Nigeria.
Wow, Lagos, Nigeria. And you give us that sign, Lagos,
Yes.
Nigeria. And I'm joining
Welcome,
you.
everyone.
Thank- And I'm joining you from the United Kingdom. It's just a small island, not as big as our wonderful country, Nigeria, and not in any way as big as Ghana either. So, before we get going, I mean, we're still a few minutes early, so I expect that we're going to have maybe about 100 people joining us in the next few minutes. Whilst we're waiting for everyone else, can I invite everyone once again in the chat box? What is one outcome that you want to walk away with from today's session? Answers in the chat box, please. Just to repeat the question, thinking about today's session, future ready organizations, embedded coaching in corporate culture. What do you want to take away from today's session? Everyone, with the exception of our speaker, Ahoy Ameogie. And that includes me. How to embed coaching as part of the organizational culture. Thank you, Daniel. And we have another one from FM Osota. More insight into coaching in the corporate world. And can I invite someone to read what I just typed? Can I invite who should I invite? I will invite Lolade Apalowo to read what I wrote at 1829. Lolade, are you able to come off mute, please?
Next station, Highway 407. Highway 407 station.
For those of us who've just joined, you are most welcome. Okay. Understanding how to shift the mindset in organizations to embrace coaching. And we also have from Apollonia to get to know any aspect of our corporate culture that requires refinement in terms of coaching. Wow, that is powerful. That is wonderful. Hey, Hoy, I hope you're taking notes of what people are going to be taking away. We're not going
Yeah.
to exactly give them an exam, but we're going to check out at the end what their real outcome is. I'm just going to give you another minute. We've got a few more people who've just joined us. Adeyanju Olomola, you are most welcome. Ayodele Maji, you are also welcome. It will be nice to see a few more faces. Thank you. No pressure.
No pressure.
Thank you for acknowledging. Oh, there you go. Adeyanju, good evening. Thank you. It's nice to see you. Okay, without further ado, I am going to hand over the microphone to our host for the evening. And I want to invite everyone, get your hands ready to give Ahoy a massive round of applause on the countdown from 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Woo!
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Femi. And thank you, everyone, for joining this evening for a repeat of our masterclass because we've actually had it, but then we had some technical challenges. So today we're just going to discuss, we're going to talk and gain insights into what we really need to know. Right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So it's a discussion, we're talking. So it's not going to be only Ahoy talking. We're trying to understand what we need to do and how we ensure that we embed coaching in organizational culture so that the organizations are ready for the future. So the first question I want to ask every person on this call, how can we make our organizations future ready? Just drop your answer on the chat box. Femi, please help me to read them out. So we'll just take 1 minute, 30 seconds to answer that question. How can our organizations be future ready? And there's no
Thank
right or
you.
wrong answer.
So we have someone in the chat box who said to understand the place of organization, to understand the place of coaching in organizational effectiveness and the executive's career. I have a feeling that relates to the previous conversation we were having. So to answer your
Yeah.
question, the first chat we've got is AI.
Interesting. Okay. Let's pause and get other responses, then we'll then discuss.
Keep it coming, please, people. Keep it coming. By adopting a coaching mindset stroke culture. Ayodele, thank you. By
Thank you so
adopting
much.
sorry, that was from Daniel. Let me repeat that. Daniel said by adopting a coaching mindset stroke culture. And from Ayodele, we now have, can you please repeat the question?
Okay. How can we ensure that our organizations are ready for the future? Or what do we need to do? Any more responses?
Okay. So we have from Joy, she said, by having a strong succession pipeline.
Hmm.
And Ayodele has now responded by saying that right complement of people in the right roles.
Awesome. Well done, everyone who has responded, and very, very correct. Daniel says coaching culture. An organization that has that is future ready. Very true. Someone says having the people in the right roles. Very true. Someone says succession planning. Without the right successors, the business will naturally die. So very correct. And thank you all for your responses. For us to have future ready organizations, we must be sure that the organizations have the leaders that will take us there, the people that, the talent that will take us there, and the right product or service. But the most important thing is they must have the leaders to take that will take the organization to that future. Because again, leaders are very critical. They make the decisions, they ensure they get results through the people, they ensure the drive, the vision of the organization, they ensure that the people, the teams understand what the organization is all about. So yes, leaders, very important in this discussion today. So we're talking about the future ready organization, embedding coaching in organizational culture. Now, one more question. Remember, coaches, what we do best is ask questions. And other than that, we also ensure that you know the answer and you have the answer because you already know it. So when we talk about leadership and coaching, how do we then relate that? Is my question clear? Leadership and coaching. How does coaching fit into leadership? Talking about this topic today. No right or wrong answers.
Questions been put into the chat box.
Any responses here yet? Femi, any responses?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're still waiting.
Okay.
I guess people are still typing.
Okay.
Chances are you're going to get such an in-depth and insightful question.
I trust.
Okay. Almost there.
Okay.
One question from Joy. Coaching is a form of knowledge. Sorry, not a question, a response. Coaching is a form of knowledge transfer, which is part of the leadership responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy.
Daniel said, coaching provides the leader with a different perspective of how to lead.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Okay. So because of our time, we'll move on. Now, for a leader, coaching is so important because when you use the coaching style, you get more out of your people. So as we go on with this, our discourse this evening, we'll learn more about that. Okay. So what's the real execution gap? What's the problem here? Why do well-resourced, ambitious organizations still fall short of their potential? You know, most organizations, they have the right strategy. In fact, that strategy is so well done that the timeline to achieve this, everything is there. However, there's still enough struggle. Why? Usually it's not about the strategy. It's the leadership quality. It's the quality of conversations the leaders are having with the people. It's, do the people understand their own accountability? Do the people understand that they own the process? They will not understand if the leaders don't help them do that, right? So that's where the root problem is. The leaders are not having those quality conversations. They're not having those coaching conversations. And now what does coaching actually do? You know, for those that are non-coaches or maybe do not have not really heard about coaching or do not understand coaching, you will not give the answer. So as a leader, when you have a group or a team, so for example, I'm a leader of a marketing team or a sales team where we've got 100 billion target, right? And for 6 months, as opposed to telling my team members where the 100 billion is coming from, the first conversation we're having is, how is this going to happen? And ask every person, what's your plan? Right? And they begin to come up with solutions, right? Those conversations, other than those conversations, the leader is talking to them and hearing from them, listening to them. You know, with coaching, listening is very key. The questioning is very key. Ensuring people take ownership, very key. Goals are set, very key. So when the leader understands the coaching approach, it's easier. The execution gap is then non-existent, or even if it's there, there's a plan to then bridge it. So very important. The issue is often not the strategy, but the leadership capability and the quality of those conversations happening all the time. Okay. So what then is coaching? We've talked about all coaching. Coaching is not consulting, is not telling. You know, it's so easy, especially when you're in a high-pressured environment. It's just so easy to give the solution. See, just go and write the credit paper, just write it, bring it out, correct it. But you're not helping the team member. You're not helping the team. You're not helping the organization because you're giving the solutions. Remember, when you allow people think, because every person has the solution, that's what I always say, just hold the presence, ask the questions, and be a bit patient. They'll begin to come up with the solutions. And when people come up with solutions, they are more accountable. There's ownership. They want to see to the end. So most times in organizations, coaching is seen as that solution to that problem. No, it should be in all the processes, right? It's not a remedial tool to say, okay, leaders are not performing, give them coaching for 6 months and that's it. No, it should be part of performance management, part of everything. So the leader understands that I'm expected to be a coach. Now, not necessarily being trained as a coach, but understanding coaching skills, using these skills to bring the best out of their people, right? And they understand it is a way of engaging people, a way of building ownership in their team members, like I said before. So at its core, coaching is about the quality of conversations all the time. Let's remember that. Now, the leadership shift that happens when we want an organization to embed coaching is from directing, from telling people what to do. Remember the example I gave when I said, oh, bring the credit paper. I just want to write it. Quickly write it, and I don't want to waste time. But the truth is, when I keep on doing that, my people will never know how to write good credit. They will not know what to look out for to be able to bring in the money and lend right. Giving the example of being a team lead in a financial institution or where I do risk assets, and that's where the money coming from. So the leadership shift is from directing people on what to do, but instead developing them to understand that they know what to do. They understand what to do. Just give them more time, right? When you ask the questions, and also now asking the question is okay, but you'd have taught them, or as the team lead, you have the competence, the technical skills, right? So they understand that part, or you've taught them how to do it. But not all the time when they come to you, say, give me, let me just write it, because you're under pressure. Or go to this person, he's going to give us 10 billion, and that's it. No, you're not helping them. Then giving answers. Remember, we don't tell. You ask better questions. Ask them those questions that would elicit the answers that they have inside of them. Then managing the people, controlling outputs. Most times it now seems like micromanaging. No, they know more than that, because you built the capability and ownership in them, so they know what to do. Just give them the time to do it. So it's more of a fundamental shift. So the leader has to have that mindset shift to say, no, my people can do it, and they have what it takes to succeed. So very important that we understand that as leaders. So why are many organizations failing at coaching? Again, I talked about it initially. It's more like, oh, it's a remedial tool. There's a problem. We've heard about coaching. Get any company that can coach, or call ICF, right? ICFN. They can come and coach for us. But no, it's more than that. It's more than a single workshop. It's more than just one answer at that time without follow through. No, it's more of putting it in the system. And again, another mistake that organizations make, oh, let's just coach our senior team members. Let's teach them how to coach. Let's take them through that. No, it should not be reserved for only senior team members. If a culture is built around it, that at every level you must know how to coach, it becomes easier when they become leaders. So it's not meant to be an executive only initiative, but for every level. There's not an HR program. Oh, HR said, so again, when the leaders here or the people here, oh, you have a coaching training, and they go like, oh, another HR program. No, it's not about that. If it's positioned as a thing that the organization takes as part of the system, acceptance is better, learning is better, and understanding the role coaching plays in the organization is better. So it's not meant to be an HR program at all. So most organizations have that challenge when they look at it as a one-time intervention, an executive-only initiative, and an HR program. Okay, so what are those 4 building blocks of a coaching culture? Number one, the organization must understand that it has to do with leadership commitment from the beginning. From the beginning, remember we're talking about culture. Culture is that thing that leaders must model first. Because guess what? The followers are looking. So if the leaders are coaches or they use the coaching style, then the full organization understands it. So it's a leadership commitment that every leader must understand what coaching has to do. Then coaching managers, managers are the people that the team members see, even before senior leaders. And they always say that people leave their managers, not the organizations. So if the managers understand coaching and are equipped with coaching skills, they get better at managing their people, they get better results. And again, it makes the work much easier for them because there's ownership, there's accountability, which coaching helps to do. Then, like I said, systems integration must be integrated in talent reviews, performance circles, onboarding, everything that has to do with the organization. Leaders, coaching must be embedded in it. Very important. Then we must measure what we've been doing around coaching and culture. Is it working? What's not working? Check it, recalibrate, and then refocus where you need to focus. So now I want to take a break. Talking. I've been talking. So what are the biggest leadership challenges organizations face? Question I'm asking everybody on this call. So put your answer on the chat box. What's the biggest leadership challenge organizations face? Who wants to help us? Then are you there? I can't see the chat, but if you can read the
Don't worry,
responses.
I'm keeping an eye on the chat for you.
All right, thank you. The question again is biggest leadership challenges that organizations are facing today.
Okay, we've now got answers. Sustainability and continuity. And that was from Kachi. And Joy said change.
Change. Thank you. Sustainability, change, and very true. But guess what? We're in the VUCA world right now. Everything is changing. So the only thing not changing is change. So therefore, we must have those leaders that can lead in the times of change. And how can they do that? The coaching culture, very important. Self-awareness, understanding how to manage the people, very important. So again, for us to survive the next 10, how many years, we must have those leaders that can lead in times of change. So therefore, coaching is very important, that the leader is equipped with coaching and understands how it's done. Right? Then for sustainability, we need that succession pipeline to be there. So if is part of leadership development, then it's done deliberately and intentionally. So therefore, the leaders you are developing are ready to then go into that role and is ready to then manage the people well and get results. Because for us to have a future-ready organization, we must have the leaders that will take us to that future, right? Leaders that can lead in times of change, because change is the only constant thing right now. That's the only thing that is known. Tomorrow, there's something new. Next tomorrow, there's something new. So we need leaders that can then ensure that they lead in those times and their leadership do not drive people away, but brings more people to the organization, retains the people in the organization, and they are productive and engaged when doing the work. So, everything rises and falls on leaders. That's the truth, according to John Maxwell, and that's really true. So imagine you have a leader who doesn't understand how to get the best out of his or her people, then there's a challenge. Because without a leader that can get the best out of their people, that can make quality decisions, then the future of that organization is actually dicey. All right, thank you so much,
So you
Kachi.
have all the answers in the chat. Did you see them or did you want me to go through them? You got about
Please
5
go through them. I
responses.
can't see them.
So from Daniel said, developing the next set of leaders and leading in the new world of work. That's from Daniel. OVA said the biggest leadership challenge organizations face is hierarchical bias and succession planning. There again, that same phrase, succession. FM Masota said responsibility and ownership and stakeholder mentality. Chinwe said execution of plans, walking the talk, people management. And finally, you have Idowu David said track the changes consistently. There you have it.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, everyone, for that, for those responses. And very true. Those challenges are real. But the thing is, if you check every response there, there's a common theme. And this common theme has to do with leaders, execution, developing the right successor or the leaders for tomorrow, responsibility, all has to do with leaders, right? Then again, that's why I was saying that when we're coaching in cultures, in organizational culture, it goes a long way. So you can imagine coaching is part of the system, from leadership development to performance reviews, talent reviews, up to KPIs. And when I mean KPIs for leaders, the KPIs would be spelt, right, with a metric, because again, your coaching ability will be measured, right? So very important that for these challenges to, I wouldn't say go away, but for the organizations to manage them properly and win in the marketplace, there must be a deliberate intention to embed coaching. Because not only does coaching help the leader to get the best out of team members, but it helps the leader to be more self-aware, more emotionally intelligent, make quality decisions, right? And also think out of the box. So if there's a system, if there's a culture that ensures that happens, then we have those ready leaders to take the organization to the future. Thank you, everyone, for that. Okay. That's the impact of coaching when it's embedded in the organization. So leadership pipeline, there's stronger, deeper bench of ready leaders. We talked about that as part of the challenges organizations might face. But again, if coaching is embedded and done well, leadership pipeline is stronger, is deeper. So we have people ready to step into those roles when it becomes vacant or something happens. Quality decisions, right? And this will be driven by clarity, ownership. Imagine a leader who is very clear on where he's going, or can sell the vision well. That's a leader that is self-aware, that understands what he or she wants. A leader that understands the role of coaching. So some people might not even understand they already are doing the coaching style. But again, those kind of leaders would always have quality decisions. Then there's team resilience. Remember, we're talking about the organization for the future. And not only will the organization have teams that are resilient, that can adapt, because we're in a VUCA world, the only constant thing is change. So we have teams that are nimble, quick to adapt, and they can perform under pressure. So again, greater accountability in the firm, in the organization, because coaching is taking place. People own their outcome because they are very involved. They are not being told what to do. They are thinking through what to do. There's increased ownership because, again, when you allow people own the process, when you let them tell you how they want to make the thing, their task or their responsibility work, then they own the process. Then there's stronger performance. You imagine you have teams of people who own the process, who are adaptive, who 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 know that the outcome depends on how they do the work and how they understand it, and the solutions come from them. Of course, performance will be stronger because every person is putting in their best, and most times more than their best. So trust, accountability, and performance will improve overall. Okay, so I'm just looking and saying, okay, our African context, they say, oh, Africa is very populous. We have a very young generation. We have very young people. Nigeria right now, most people want to come and invest here because of the numbers, But the thing is, as much as we have those people and organizations that are growing at very, very fast speed, what coaching does is to ensure that as the organization is growing, the leadership is ready to scale as fast as the organization. So very important, coaching provides that consistency, sustainable capability, and a culture of continuous learning. What coaching will always do is ask you, okay, what is it you're learning right now? Other than you asking your team member as a leader in an organization, the team member would even learn before you ask, because guess what? They have the ability, the opportunity to think out of the box, to think of solutions by themselves. They are not being told what to do. So as fast as the business is scaling, the leadership capabilities are also scaling. Okay, so how are we building this future-ready organization? We must develop leaders at every level, at every level. So it's not about only senior management or only senior leaders must be the ones to be trained as coaches or go for coaching. Remember, when we embed coaching in every system in the organization, it helps. Then make coaching part of the culture. So therefore, how do you make it part of the culture? There's the questioning culture. As opposed to saying, oh, do it like this. How do you think this should be done? What do you plan to do? What is your strategy on achieving this? People begin to think, right? So it must be lead in daily conversations, performance conversations, and all that. Then I would always say the future belongs to those who invest now. And investing now means a leadership that is defined by coaching, where people are asked those questions, people can give their own suggestions, they can suggest their own answers because they have the answers, right? And one of the questions I think someone said about hierarchy, again, I was talking earlier today to some group of people, and we talked about leadership distance, right? Hierarchy can cause that distance, right? But when we understand that, coaching helps bridge that distance because you must have those quality conversations, right? Very important. So for us to have that future-ready organization, we must have those quality conversations. Leaders must have those quality conversations with the team members. All right. So one question before I stop sharing, then we'll all discuss. So what's that behavior that truly shapes culture? What's that behavior that truly shapes culture? Okay, so I'll stop sharing now. It's time to discuss.
Okay, so the question from our presenter is, what is that behavior that truly shapes culture? Answers in the chat. Or this is probably the point. Ahoy, do you want people to come off mute
Yeah,
and,
it'll be good if they do.
hear voices if possible?
Yeah, Yeah, yes, we can do
Okay.
that. Maybe
Could do.
raise hands,
Yep.
then we call people so we have it more organized.
Fantastic. So you've got answers coming in already. Gloria said modeling.
Yeah, very correct. Very correct. Because leaders must model what we want to see, and coaching must be modeled, right? Thank you, Gloria.
And we've got another
Leadership.
one, leadership.
Trusted. Trust. Interesting.
Okay. It appears your audio is off, Ahoy.
Oh, you can hear me?
Okay. You can hear you now.
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I can see I can see the chat now. Two people have said trust, psychological safety, how behaviors are rewarded. Very correct. All right. Psychological and emotional safety, meritocracy, empathy, communication style, leadership behavior. Very correct. Very correct. This behavioral traits really do shape culture. So imagine if you reward truth, people are willing to tell you the truth. If you reward innovation, people are ready to innovate. If for example, you just speak, oh, here one of our culture is one of our core values is innovation. Then someone tries to innovate and fails, then that person is punished. There's a problem. Then people will be scared to innovate, right? Again, all right, collaborative communication, very key. Not leaving out the group's values. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. All right, so now, what are we taking to our own organizations? What are we planning to do better? Or I want to re-ask the question. I want to ask that question again. What is that one leadership behavior you believe organizations must intentionally unlearn? Unlearn. Should I repeat the question? What is one leadership behavior you believe organizations must intentionally unlearn?
Okay, we've lost your audio again.
Oh, but I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Answers are coming in the chat box.
All right. Yeah, can see this. Hmm. I laughed when I saw this. It said unregulated emotions under pressure. You see, and that's true. That's when again self emotional intelligence and self-awareness also helps. And this happens through coaching. Disrespect. Wow. Command and control, very key. It's no more, we're no more in the era of command and control, actually. Unclear goals. Lack of clarity on goals. Lack of clarity on goals can cause so much confusion that every person is running everywhere and they are wondering what's going on. Waste of time, waste of management, executive time, waste of employees' time. Execution is slow. Yeah. Assuming that silence is consent. Oh my God. We have a lot here, a lot. Disrespect. Communication transparency. So all these things we must learn. Unlearn. Leaders must unlearn them. Interesting. Okay. So, would like anyone to unmute and share with us what your thoughts are concerning building or embedding culture, coaching in cultures for a future-ready organization? Or if you're already in a future-ready organization, you can share what you've done. Femi. So, Femi, you are
I'm
my
here.
co-presenter today.
Okay.
So, what's that one thing, right, that future-ready organizations are already doing? Because already we have some organizations that are ready, truth be told, right? What are they doing differently?
What are they doing differently?
Yeah.
That's a powerful question. And do you know what I want to suggest, Ahoy? How
Yes.
about we go into breakout rooms
Oh,
and
nice.
give them that question again? And I'm going to
Mm.
allocate our audience into breakout rooms. Please, each breakout room, you're going to have 5 minutes to have a conversation. And then when you come back, you would have one person speaking on behalf of your group, and you're going to share your thoughts. And then we're going to collaboratively think about how we can utilize all the input that we get from everyone. How does that sound for everyone?
I like that idea.
Okay.
So we need to put the question again on the chat box. So when every person gets to their breakout room, the
Okay.
question is there.
So, can you give me the question again?
Okay.
What is
So
the
what's that
leadership?
one thing?
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
go for it.
Okay. So I'm saying, what's that one thing, one leadership thing that can be done to be a future-ready organization?
Okay. Okay. The question is in the chat. And I am going to open the rooms. We've got 5 rooms, and you've got a mixture of people in the rooms.
Okay.
So we're going to give you 5 minutes to discuss, and you will get a countdown 30-second timer. Okay. Opening all the rooms. See you shortly.
Mariam do not have a room yet.
Let me. So some people are just joining.
Oh, okay.
I can move them to rooms manually.
Okay.
Ibirunke, you should be moving to your room. Maria,
Yeah.
you should be
Maria
moving to
hasn't
your
gotten
room.
her room.
Maria, can you move to your room, please? You're in room 1.
Linda doesn't have a room yet.
Okay, Linda. Let's see, what room is Linda in? Okay, Linda just joined. I'm going
Yeah.
to move Linda to room 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's in
Okay.
a room now. Yeah.
All right.
Let
So
me
that
pause the
one leadership,
recording.
yeah. You put the question there.
Yes, I put the question in the chat, and
Okay.
I hope they would all be able to read the chat.
Yeah.
What I could
Or should
do,
we go check the rooms and
that's what I was going to do. I was going to go into the breakout rooms.
so we have 5 breakout rooms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can go into, can you see whether you're able to join a room manually?
Okay, let me see if I can join room 5. Yes.
And it looks like I'm not able to go into any room. Yeah. Okay. You're going to room 5. Yes. Okay. They should be on their way back.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay. Over to you.
Okay, so if you're back, give us a thumbs up digitally. Thumbs up if you're back. Awesome. Wow, I love the when it explodes. So these are actually some of the leadership behaviors. But back to the question, what is one leadership behavior you believe organizations must intentionally do to become a future-ready organization? We had 5 rooms. And what we're going to do is we're going to take turns. Each room is going to, hopefully you've appointed your own leader and you're going to have someone speak on behalf of your room. So, who's going to speak on behalf of room one, please? Room one. In that room, we had Daniel, John, Kachi, and Gillian. Room one. Who's your spokesperson?
I will speak if that's
Thank
okay
you.
with the rest. So maybe not one action, maybe two, but I think there's some intersection in what was proposed in our group. One was the opening theme, if you will, that indicates that wisdom lies in everybody. So, in other words, every voice counts. And the offshoot of that is really about
How are you?
communication. The offshoot of that is really about communication, having improved, open, transparent, and clear communication of the vision, the goals, the responsibilities, and everything that is necessary or needed to be known across the organization to ensure that everybody is aligned and working towards the same goal. So I think that would be the summary from room one.
Thank you so much. Can we all give him a big round of applause for sharing with us, please? Room one. Thank you. Room two, we had Apollonia Joy, Oluwaseun, Famakinwa, Omolara, Samuel, and Maria. Who is the spokesperson for room two, please?
Okay. Yes, I go. Good
And
evening, everyone.
your name,
Okay, so
please?
for group two, we looked at Apollonia Odia for room
Thank
two.
you.
Okay. So what we did was have some illustrations of what some organizations, like real life situation, was actually going on or happening in those organizations. So one, we said having to groom new employees, get them to be abreast of everything, all the organization's processes. So any department where they get posted to, they are ready to function there. That's one. Then the second one is having, resource placement, having to place round pegs in round holes, whereby you can actually be sure of accountability on the tasks that have been given to those. Then the third one will be also in terms of coaching now. We had an instance of a company where you don't just give a particular set of people opportunity to lead in meetings or presentations simply because you feel that these ones are very good in presentation. So for a particular organization that we know, they take turns for weekly meetings. They make sure it goes round, where one person takes safety moment, another person takes vision moment, another person anchors the meeting. So when it goes round, even the people who are weak in presentation, they get groomed. They see their weaknesses and they build on their weaknesses. I think several others, but let's stop at this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A massive round of applause for Apollonia for sharing with us. Let's go to room three. We have Linda, Kachi, we have Idowu, and we have Efemo Sota. Over to you. Who's your spokesperson? 2 minutes, please. Room three. Room 3, going. Room 3, going. How about we go to room 4? Room 3 is gone. Miriam Kachiku, are you there for us, please? Room 4.
Although I think Femi will represent us quite well. Femi, are you there?
Femi Ayodele.
I think so. He was in room 4. Okay, well, let me then speak. So for us, really, it was more about creating the environment so where the values are actually lived every day as a culture, as an institutional culture, which also includes making sure that people can be curious, people can ask questions without fear, and they can make their mistakes without fear. That sort of system will create psychological safety for creativity and all that, to keep them learning and renewing themselves so that whatever comes in the future, they are ready. And when employees come in, that's the culture they meet. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Very insightful, very inspiring. A round of applause, please, for Marianne in room 4. And in room 5, our final room for the evening, we've got 2 people left. Ayodele and Ayodeji. Who would like to speak on behalf of room 5, please?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Adam Medutio. Group 5, we just discussed, I'm just going to make it so brief. We discussed on training, we discussed on modeling, we discussed on clarity of communication and vision. Then we also discussed on template. This is what we actually help the organization to achieve its future goals, its future realistics, especially in a very eco-friendly way. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Very insightful sharing thoughts. Ahoy, over to yourself, please.
All right, thank you so much, Femi, for anchoring that session. And well done to all the teams. Well done. I was just writing. So Group 1 says improved, open, transparent, and clear communication. Very key, very key. So that every person in the organization is carried along, they know what's going on, and they then can deliver properly. And all this can happen when the leader is coached well and also understands how coaching fits into this. So it can be overemphasized that coaching for leaders is very important. Very important. Thank you so much, Group 1, for that. Group 2 says grooming new employees so they know the organization very well, the processes and all that, training, grooming, and all. Again, that also would then lead to being deliberate and intentional as an organization to ensure that the employees are set up for success. Very well said. Thank you. Group 4 says creating the right environment. So modeling, encouraging the behavior you want to see, rewarding the right behavior, consequence management for the behaviors that are not what you want to see as an organization or you want to see in the culture. All right. Group 5 says training, modeling. So there's one thing that's just modeling said clearly, then also in what we've said. And then coaching also helps that a lot because the leader models the right behavior. The leader helps those leaders they are training, those in training, leaders in training for succession, the team themselves, because they are modeling the right behavior, ensuring that when you have coaching embedded in the culture, it's better. So they teach the people how to ask those questions through their own behaviors, right? The leader is the one that is patient asking that question, even under pressure, allowing people to take ownership of their work, ensuring it's about those high quality conversations that bring future focused solutions, and also help the organization to then thrive and do well. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we would then agree that future-ready organizations will not be built only through strategy or technology or structure. They must be built through leaders who can create trust in the environment, develop people intentionally, very intentional, sustain accountability, and then ensure that the culture they're building is where people can perform, grow, and adapt consistently. So thank you all for your contributions. Thank you for your time. But I just want to ask one more question before I go. I like to ask the questions. So before we started, Femi had asked, what's your expectation for this masterclass? So if your expectation was met, give us a thumbs up. If not, ask us those questions. You know where to reach us. ICF Nigeria can reach us. For those of us that are not coaches here, for those that are coaches, know where to reach us. But thank you so much for your time. I want to say thank you to Femi. Thank you for making this happen. And thank you to every person on this call for joining today. We've all learned, I've learned, and I want to believe you've all learned. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. This is the point that we're going to end the session. For those of you who are going to be making your way to your respective locations, we wish you a safe travel. And for those of you who are going to be going upstairs or downstairs in your house, or if you're going to stay on the same floor, we wish you happy movement. Until the next time, just to let you know, watch out for the advert for our next webinar, which will be on the 16th of June, just over 2 weeks away. Registration details will be shared with you very soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.
Thank you so much and have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this insightful program, and bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. See you shortly. Thank you.
Great. That was great.